The fire had already consumed 2 units of the old apartment complex on Elm Street. Flames licked the third-floor windows, black smoke curling into the afternoon sky like a warning no one could ignore. Sirens wailed, hoses snaked across the street, and Captain Marcus Reed barked orders over the roar of the inferno. Ladder 2, hold position. Engine 3, hit the east wall. Everyone else, evacuate the rear units. It was chaos. Controlled, yes, but chaos nonetheless. Then, through the thick of it, came a sound no one expected. A meow. High-pitched, terrified, desperate. Marcus froze, not out of fear. Firefighters don't freeze, but out of recognition. That wasn't a child. It wasn't a trapped tenant. It was a cat. And it was coming from the massive oak tree in the center of the complex courtyard, right where the fire trucks couldn't reach without toppling the branches. "Did you hear that?" asked rookie firefighter Jake, eyes wide. Marcus didn't answer. He scanned the tree. There, 20 feet up, wedged between 2 thick limbs, a small black and white cat clung to the bark, fur singed, eyes wide with panic. Every time an ember drifted near, it shrank further into the fork, trembling. "It's gonna fall," Jake whispered. Or burn, Marcus thought. He looked at the burning building. The ladder crew was stretched thin. The priority was human life, always. Protocol demanded he ignore the cat. Move on. Save who you can. But something in that tiny, trembling body, the way it refused to let go, even as the heat rose, pulled at him like a memory he couldn't place. "Cover me," Marcus said, already stripping off his outer coat. "Sir?" Jake frowned. "We can't spare anyone. Command said—" "I know what they said," Marcus cut in, voice calm but firm. "But that cat's not going to make it another 10 minutes, and I'm not walking away." Without waiting for approval, he jogged toward the tree. The courtyard was hot. Too hot. Ash fell like snow. The oak's leaves were already curling at the edges. Marcus didn't hesitate. He grabbed the lowest branch and pulled himself up. At 42, he wasn't as agile as he'd been in his 20s. His boots slipped on the soot-covered bark. His gloves burned against the scorched wood. But he climbed. Below, Firefighter shouted. Someone called his name, but he kept going. Halfway up, the cat saw him. It hissed, a weak, broken sound, and tried to scramble higher. "It's okay," Marcus murmured, voice low and steady. "I'm not here to hurt you." He moved slowly, hand over hand, until he was just below the fork where the cat crouched. Their eyes met. In that moment, Marcus didn't see an animal. He saw fear. Pure, unfiltered fear, the kind he'd seen in children, in elderly tenants, in his own reflection after his first fatality. He reached out. The cat flinched. "I've got you," Marcus whispered. And then, miraculously, it didn't run. It let him slide a gloved hand beneath its belly, cradling it against his chest like a promise. The descent was harder than the climb. With one arm wrapped around the cat, his balance was off. Twice he nearly lost his grip. But he held on, tight, gentle, unwavering. When his boots touched the ground, the courtyard erupted in cheers. Not loud, not showy, but real. Jake rushed forward with a thermal blanket. Marcus wrapped the cat gently, shielding it from the smoke and stares. A woman from the 3rd floor, evacuated minutes earlier, ran over, tears streaming down her face. "That's Smokey," she choked out. "He's been with us for 12 years. I thought he was gone." Marcus handed her the bundle. "He's a fighter." She hugged the cat like it was her child. "Thank you," she whispered. No one else would have stopped. Marcus just nodded. He turned back toward the fire, back to duty. But as he walked away, he felt it, the weight of something small, something saved. Later that night, long after the flames were out and the embers cooled, Marcus sat on his porch, nursing a cup of coffee that had gone cold hours ago. His wife, Elena, joined him, handing him a fresh mug. "Heard what you did today," she said softly. Marcus stared into the steam. "I broke protocol." "You followed your heart." He looked at her. "What if someone had gotten hurt because I left my post? What if that cat had died because you didn't?" He had no answer. Elena sat beside him, shoulder to shoulder. "You didn't just save a cat, Marcus. You reminded everyone that compassion isn't weakness. It's courage in its quietest form." The next morning, a photo appeared online. Firefighter rescues cat from burning tree while flames rage behind him. It went viral. News outlets called. Reporters asked for interviews. The fire chief gave him a formal warning and a quiet nod of respect. But the real reward came a week later. A small envelope arrived at the station. Inside was a crayon drawing, a tall man in a yellow coat holding a cat, with the words, "Thank you, hero," scrawled in bright red letters. On the back, a note from the woman. "Smokey's sleeping in his favorite sunspot again. He's safe. Because of you." Marcus pinned the drawing to the station bulletin board, right next to safety protocols and shift schedules. Because sometimes the most important rules aren't written down, they're lived. And in a world that often measures worth by size, speed, or strength, Marcus had proven something profound. No life is too small to be saved. No act of kindness too quiet to matter. Years later, he'd still wear that drawing in his locker. And every time a new recruit asked about it, he'd smile and say, "That's the day I remembered why we do this. Not just to fight fires, but to protect everything worth saving." Because courage isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a firefighter climbing a burning tree for a cat who couldn't speak, but whose life still mattered.